Hello, I'm Sweetie Abochi bringing you AM News now. The Electricity Company of Ghana has served notice of taking legal action against the management of Rehoboth Estate after uncovering widespread electricity theft involving 400 houses and a block factory within the estate located in Kweman in the Dodowa district. Now, the discovery was made during a special operation by ECG's Accra East Revenue Protection Unit as part of its ongoing nationwide revenue mobilization efforts. We'll tell you more in this report.
Nearly 400 homes in the gated Rehoboth Estate at Kweman near Dodowa have been illegally connected to the national grid, triggering a full disconnection by the Electricity Company of Ghana. A block factory within the estate was also caught siphoning power to support ongoing construction. Factory that supplies blocks to the estate company.
Yes, this is what we've seen for now. Yeah, we don't know whether they have another one there.
Accra East Revenue Protection Manager Eunice Nana Ajman revealed the scale of the theft during a swoop by ECG's Revenue Task Force.
Upon going around, we discovered that there's a mass theft in this estate. Most of the houses are on direct connections. They do not have meters, and therefore they are using the electricity for free. What we intend to do is to disconnect them from the source.
Some residents protested the cutoff, insisting they had meters, but admitted that many properties lack any form of legal connection.
I'm a medical person. I work around Ridge, and I come all the way here. I drive here, and because you think there are illegal connections for meters that they have paid for and you are not supplying, you come and disconnect us.
So is it that most of these houses, they've already applied for meters and they do not have, so because of that, that's why they've connected illegally?
That is what the estate makes us aware, that they have paid for the meter. They said they have letters to back claims that they have followed up severally for the meters to be installed, and that hasn't been done by ECG.
ECG says the estate must now formally apply for meters for each household. The company's legal team is pursuing the matter with potential prosecutions on the table.
We are going to give the developer an illegal connection notice to come to the office and officially apply for meters for these houses.
Apart from cutting them from the main grid and also waiting that they will apply for new meters, what is ECG going to do? Is it that you are going to prosecute them or something of that sort?
We will take this matter up at a different quarters. Yes, we will give it to our legal team to take it up. Yes.
Reporting for Joy News, Collins Frimpong.
The Minister for the Interior, Mohammed Muntaka Mubarak, has reaffirmed the government's commitment to extending opportunities from all its programs to prison inmates. Speaking at the maiden passing out ceremony for recruits of the Yankafo Prison Officers Training School, the minister commended the recruits for their dedication to strengthening Ghana's security system. He emphasized that the government remains focused on enhancing officers' welfare and introducing technological innovations across the service. And Abigail Eselin-Krumah has more.
Following several months of training, 451 recruits passed out from the Yankafo Prison Officers Training School for the Recruit Course 125. The first passing out ceremony since the establishment of the training school in April 2024 saw 249 male and 202 female recruits being ushered into full-time officers. The event was marked with awards for the best performing recruits in several categories. Gracing the occasion as a special guest of honor, Ghana's Minister for the Interior, Honorable Muntaka Mubarak Mohammed, described the event as historic, applauding the recruits for their hard work and resilience.
Government is supposed to provide opportunity under all government programs that are being rolled out to guarantee a better life for inmates when they are released. I want to reassure the leadership and personnel of the Ghana Prison Service of government's unwavering support. Our commitment goes beyond improving logistics and infrastructure. We aim to reform the very foundation of correctional practice in Ghana. This includes strengthening officers' welfare, expanding career development opportunity, and introducing technological innovation.
He also shared government's commitment to the Ghana Prison Service, assuring government opportunities for inmates.
Our vision is to position the Ghana Prison Service as a model of correctional excellence on the African continent. We cannot speak of national security without speaking of justice, and cannot speak of justice without talking about compassion. The true public safety is not merely about punishment, it is about prevention, transformation, and reintegration. To the graduating recruits, today is not just an end, but beginning of a noble calling. Serve with courage, fairness, and compassion. The government stands with you, and together we will build a prison service that reflects the ideal of justice, reformation, and national progress.
From Ankafo, Abigail Lisel Nkrumah reports for Joy News.
So from Ankafo, let's go to Lashibi here in Accra, because the Christ Life Family Chapel has launched 4 Christian books and unveiled Jezreel Publishing, a new faith-based publishing house. The books, Jesus Christ, the Story Changer, His Will or Your Will, Divine Timing, and Knowing Your Prophet, aim to deepen spiritual growth and understanding. And Mamavi Sefakote reports.
4 transformative Christian books and a publishing house were officially launched at the Christ Life Family Chapel in Lashibi, Accra. The titles Jesus Christ the Story Changer, His Will or Your Will, Divine Timing, and Knowing Your Prophet were unveiled alongside the introduction of Jezreel Publishing, a new platform aimed at supporting Christian writers. The event drew respected clergy and service professionals all united in support of kingdom-centered initiatives. In an interview with Joy News, Prophetess Rosemary Owusu-Entry said the books are intended to reshape spiritual understanding and offer guidance to both Christians and non-Christians. She noted that the launch held special meaning coinciding with the late anniversary of her late father, the man who inspired and mentored her into ministry.
I'm writing this book for non-Christians and Christians to bring the knowledge of God to bear, for people to understand that there is timing, there is life-altering changes, there are knowing the prophets and the will of God. What I want the public to know and to understand is, for us, we are in a dispensation that everybody wants it quick. And people are also giving up on the prophetic and other things. So my motivation and my message that I wanted to send out there, that there is still God. There's still God in every issues and most of the issues that we go through. For the general public and other people, even to people who are not spiritually inclined, to be part of it and to draw them closer to God.
During a panel session, Prophetess Owusu-Entry shared the personal experiences and divine encounters that inspired each of the 4 books.
The one thing we can't do is that we can't move the hand of God. When it's not time, you can cry. I needed the fruit of the womb for 15 years. What didn't I do? I cried, somersaulted, jumped, did. But when the time, I was sitting my somewhere, and it just happened. I would advise us that the word of God, we must eat it, we must do it. Even Jesus, his birth was prophesied in Isaiah. It took almost 470 years at God's timing for it to come. Don't we read our Bible? It says in his own time, he makes all things beautiful. I rest my case.
The event ended with a symbolic cake cutting ceremony marking the beginning of a new chapter in faith-based publishing. Mamavi Sefakote's report for Joy News.
In other stories, the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Women and Youth, GNCCI for short Way Initiative has been launched to address key challenges faced by women and youth entrepreneurs. Speaking at the launch in Cape Coast, the Central Regional Chairman of GNCCI, George Ben Smith, highlighted that many women and youth in business struggle with issues such as bookkeeping and financial management. He noted that the initiative is designed to equip them with the necessary knowledge and skills to enhance their entrepreneurial activities. Here's more.
The Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, GNCCI, is the leading voice for the Ghanaian business community, committed to promoting and protecting the interests of its members and the broader private sector. In the Central Region, the GNCCI has launched the GNCCI Way Initiative to cater for the needs of women and youth entrepreneurs. The chairman of GNCCI in the Central Region, George Ben Smith, explains the reason for the GNCCI Way.
When it comes to women and youth, there has been a lot of challenges. Some of them do not have access to proper bookkeeping and all that. Others do have difficulty in assessing finance. They go to the bank, they want money, they will not be able to get. Some of them, it is from how they keep their records. Others too, it is not only record keeping, but it is also from how they are able to put the things together. So what the GNCCI is doing by the launch of GNCCI Way, Women and Youth, is to give them the skill, the knowledge, the requisite knowledge that they can use to be able to help.
Emilia Siakwa, the first vice president and leader of GNCCI Way Wing, shared details on partnerships.
We've partnered with some agencies purposely for some of these building up of their businesses to enable us also look out for the export market, because we currently have After Secretariat sitting with us, but we are not even leveraging on some of these opportunities that we have as Ghana. We should come together, build the capacity of our women all over Ghana, the youth all over Ghana, to also curb this unemployment rate that we have in the nation, so that at least we will all drive towards what the agenda of the government to make Ghana a better nation. When you educate a woman, what do? You educate the nation. And so if women's capacity are built and the youth are built, it means that we are positioning them, and Central Region will be a better place to dwell, so that it wouldn't be like you come to Central Region and more or less it's like one of the poorest regions. No, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. That is why there's the need for us to take it up by ourselves and see how best we can deploy.
Expressing her gratitude for the GNCCI Way is the founder and CEO of Sedat Consults Limited and member of GNCCI in the Central Region.
Sometimes we want to have the funding, but we don't have the structures, we don't have the requirements. We are unable to meet the requirements that will give us the funding, even though the funding may be available. So this is to help all businesses, particularly the women-owned businesses and the businesses that are run by the youth. So we'll have the structures.
From Cape Coast, Abigail Listen Nkrumah reports for Joy News.
Let's go up north now, because Assembly members in the Wa East and Nadoli-Kalio districts of the Upper West region have voted to confirm the president nominees for the positions of District Chief Executive. Adamu Shaibu and Mary Haruna, both teachers, were initially rejected by the two assemblies 2 months ago after failing to secure the required 2/3 majority votes. However, they were re-nominated by President John Dramani Mahama a few weeks ago and have now been successfully confirmed by the assembly members.
Two nominees of President John Dramani Mahama for the position of District Chief Executives for Wa East and Nadoli-Kalio, Adam Saibu and Mary Haruna, were outrightly rejected by the various assemblies 2 months ago. They were the only nominees of the president out of 11 in the region who failed to garner the needed 2/3 yes votes to be confirmed by the local legislatures. They could not even garner 50% of the yes votes to enable them have another bout of voting, hence their rejection. The duo, however, had another favor from the president, and he renominated them for an encore at the two assemblies. First was the West District Assembly. Wearing a short-sleeved kaftan of a black wallaby shoe, Adamu Shaibu, seated on the front pew of the voting hall, wore frown, but few occasions attempted to force a smile. At least he has been at this stage before and was rejected. He watched in silence as the presiding member of the assembly, Timothy Mbenaba, fumed with rage over allegations of members demanding for unspecified colossal amount of money before they confirmed the nominee in the previous meeting.
The question to ask today is that, so today, if we confirm our own brother, does that mean that we have not been given enough money? How much money is enough for a person? That we really find it distasteful. In fact, like we said, we are prepared to give our all to our brother. We are assuring you that we will give him 100%. It's a test to him. And we want to take him through that test. 4 years is just like a day. After 4 years, he will come back to this house and give an account. We are going to work closely with him. But if he thinks that he wants to work alone, so be it.
His assurance came to pass, and the nominee overturned his previous rejection to confirmation. That will have born Dondo Lemairu polled 28 yes votes and 8 no votes, sending the sea of supporters in and out of the hall into wild jubilation. He was quickly sworn into office by Upper Social Minister Lawyer Charles Wonga Pozung. Ademu Saibu then spoke of his commitment to implementing government policies to better the lives of the people.
I urge all colleagues to rally behind me for us to reset and improve the living conditions of our people through the implementation of government policies and vision of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Next was Mary Haruna, the president's nominee for the Nodukeleo district, the only female MDC nominee of the president. She was rejected a couple of months ago because of the differences in the political power blocks in the constituency. She has another opportunity today. She wears a freestyle lace over rasta braids to match the occasion. Her fate will soon be decided by the same 52 members who rejected her. The position, at least, is not for the faint-hearted, knowing what lies ahead. Mary Haruna, however, maintained a forward gaze. In the end, she pulled through, polling 46 years votes.
I will actually serve our constituency wholeheartedly. My main purpose will be to unite the Nadoli-Kaleo constituency. And for that matter, I call on everyone to let us do this together.
Like her counterpart from the Wa'is district, Mary Haruna was also quickly sworn into office. The swearing in of the duo meant that the region now has its full set of MDCEs and ready for the reset agenda of the government. At least, Lawyer Charles Wonga Pozun will be feeling better than the months before. Reporting for Joy News, Rafik Salam, Fonsi.
Well, in education, the minister says a BEC candidate who arrived late to an exam center after being involved in an accident will be given the needed support after investigations are conducted into the incident. He gave the assurance during a tour of some examination centers in the capital, right here in Accra, together with the defense minister. There's more in this report.
The two ministers, Education and Defense, had two major stops: the Garrison Basic School inside Burma Camp and the La Salem School in La. They were there to inspect exam conditions and encourage candidates writing this year's Basic Education Certificate examination. At La Salem, the Education Minister addressed the media, expressing concern over reports of a candidate who arrived late to an examination center after being involved in an accident on his way to write the paper.
Student who was involved in an accident, and when he arrived late, was prevented from undertaking the exams. So it will be a double tragedy for him. He suffered emotional trouble and trauma, and also associated barring from the examination. The Director General of GS and his men are investigating it, and appropriate remedial action will be taken to allow him progress where necessary within the rules with the assessment authorities of the town.
Together with the Defense Minister, the Education Minister visited schools to monitor the conduct of this year's BECE. At each center, they interacted with candidates and invigilators, commending the calm and orderliness observed so far.
We visited you to encourage you. As your Defense Minister, together with my brother, the Minister for Education, Honorable Haruna Idrisu, your MP, just to let you know that we think about you, we care about you.
Or proceed with integrity, nothing more. Proceed with honesty. You can pass these exams in honesty and with honesty. And tomorrow you provide leadership for this country in honesty and with honesty.
The examination officially ends on Wednesday, June 18, with Islamic students writing Arabic as the final paper.
Well, all the best to the students who are still writing the BC. And that takes us into a business update now with Samuel Kujobris.
Let's do the business update now. And the Bank of Ghana is expected to act swiftly this week by boosting its dollar supply to banks in an effort to meet rising market demand. This move follows a sudden surge in dollar demand last week, which has placed renewed pressure on the Ghana cedi. There's more details that are provided in the following report.
We are learning that the spike in dollar demand has been influenced by recent comments by President John Mahama that they are looking at the true value of the Ghana cedi being pegged at 10 to 12 Ghana cedis. This has resulted in some businesses trying to move fast to take positions once the dollar is cheap before any future depreciation. Another reason for this pressure, according to bank treasurers, is that there were some offshore investors that were taking profits for their earlier investment in the country. However, the central bank has given the firm assurance that all commercial banks that are having demand issues will be met this week. This should be complemented by general market support in addition to what the regulator will provide to the market. This should help in firmly stabilizing the Ghana cedi to ward off any fresh demand pressures that will come in the coming days.
Well, let's do more stories here on the business update of the AM show. And government has failed to meet its treasury bills target for the third consecutive week. According to the auction results by the Bank of Ghana, the government missed the target narrowly by 4.38%. Meanwhile, interest rates continue to dip on the shorter end of the market. There's more in this report.
The Treasury got 7.22 billion Ghana cedis as against a target of 7.588 billion Ghana cedis. The chunk of the bid came from the 91-day bill, with investors offering 6.025 billion Ghana cedis. This represented 83.3% of the total bid. For the 182-day bill, investors tendered in only 995.27 million cedis. All the bids were accepted. A little over 204 million Ghana cedis of the bid came from the 364-day bill. The Treasury, however, accepted 173.40 million Ghana cedis of the bid. Meanwhile, interest rates continue to narrow on the shorter end of the yield curve. The yield on the 91-day bill went down by 9 basis points to 14.70%. That of the 182-day bill also declined to 15.25% from the previous weeks of 15.45%. However, the yield on the 364-day bill went up by 3 basis points to 15.74%.
And that's it for the business update and by extension the news. We'll now take a break to bring you a sports update by Muftao Nabila.